Hello and welcome back to a message for you. I just felt this odd need to do just a little bit more of an extended on this because the short message that came out was just it felt so nervous and clunky. And you know what? I think that's kind of where these two energies are. They are nervous and clunky right now. These are two individuals that did not intend to meet. They did not intend to find someone. They, as a matter of fact, had not only given up on love, they were just like, I'm just can't, whether there's a lot of abuse, damage, whatever from previous relationships, from childhood, it doesn't matter. These were just two people that were like, I've taken my chances. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm better going solo. And God heard that. God heard that because he knew somewhere in your plan, something. And God was like, no, we're going to take this coin. We're going to plant this seed because, your water, your air, this is the wind, this is the water, and this can flower this, and that air can keep, the clouds apart so that the sun will be there when it needs to be, and the coolness will be there when it needs to be to help bloom this seed. And that is what the divine did. The divine completely and totally stepped in and said, no, you two can't be separated forever. No, 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 no. Sorry. So I'm going to introduce you guys, because for me, the lovers, they're each standing on the opposite side of the road. And, you've got to hey, hello, hello, and when the other person hears you on this other side because they like you or they're calling you or you're calling each other, eventually you do merge. You merge into the middle of the road, with your cups, with your hearts out, with your hearts on your sleeve, and then this little thing comes up to say, hey, do we like each other, because this is the little thing inside of us that, starts to get to know the other person, to gather that information and whatnot to see if we like this person. And we've already done this. These two people, this page of swords and this page of cups, and age does not matter in this because I'm being told that it's youth of any age. And I won't be shocked if these people are actually older but younger. These two people are done. They've been there, they've done that, they could have been married, they may have children. Who is to say what is there? As a matter of fact, that fish is making me think that maybe they do because, people have kids nowadays, right? So, right, Spirit? Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, these two people weren't looking for a union. They weren't looking to do any of those things. As a matter of fact, they were looking to not do those things and to progress on their own as they could. And, God saw that and said, well, no, I don't want you to, you listen, at this point, I'm just literally hearing from the divine, yeah, no, I just planted that seed and we're not even doing this now. I'm done. There is something about these people who are so disenchanted. Think Simple Twist of Fate with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. Jeez Louise, that's an old movie. God, I love that movie though. There is something about this, and it's not just one person. This is a group of divine unions that are coming together like this, because God is just like, yeah, no, we're not doing this right now. This is wrong. It's like, you ever see that person in your town where, you know everything that happened and you know that they were slighted and that it was wrong with everything else that happened and whatnot, and that what people are doing, and you're just sitting there, and when they come up to you and you look at them, you treat them nice and you treat them kindly because you know what was done to them is wrong. And then when they come in to see you, they're happy to see you because you don't treat them like that piece of shit. That's what happened here. Everybody knows what happened was wrong. These two people know what happened was wrong. The world knows that what happened to these two people were wrong. And they vowed off love. And God said, I can't have that. I can't have these two people vowing off this love that they have that is so great. I mean, it fills me with such emotion, like the love and compassion that these two people have for other people. It's in this grandiose scheme. It's not even a scheme, it's this grandioseness of like LOVE, like this compassion for compassion's sake. You know, not compassion so that you're getting something in return, but I have this choice to be compassionate, and I'm just going to do it because that's just what I'm going to do. Because no matter how much I hurt, that person is hurting more. And even if my hurt is more than theirs, I'm not going to say anything, because their hurt is their hurt, and their hurt registers on them the same way that my hurt registers, and I'm going to be there for them, because even if my hurt is more, I can console their hurt. I can help them. I can help them move through these emotions because I understood how to move through mine. And God saw you move through your emotions. God saw you try to fix yourself. God saw all of these things and said, I am not going to let that love go to waste. That love needs another human, and there's another human out there who needs to give that love back, and that is exactly what God is doing, which is why God put you on the road to the lovers. He stripped you bare, he stripped you naked so that each one of you could see who the other person was, because you don't actually know each other unless you're naked. And not naked as in getting into bed and having sex, because that's not actually getting to know someone. Naked as in I'm bearing all of my feelings, I'm bearing all of my truths, I'm giving all of my soul, I'm telling you who I am, and I'm putting up my rules, my boundaries, my limitations, and I'm not meeting you in the middle of that road until I know I'm not going to get hurt. But I'm also not going to be so, trying to think of the right way to put it, because I don't like how they put it. They're not always gentle on the other side. I have to walk into this knowing that I have had bad relationships God is saying you're walking into this knowing that, yes, I've had a bad relationship. Yes, I vowed off love, but this person doesn't seem like they're going to hurt me. And I have to step back and give that benefit of the doubt. Hi, Grandpa John. Hi, Abuelo John. Oh, he just struck my eye. Oh, I love Grandpa John. I have two grandpas named John. My great grandpa and my abuela's husbands, my abuelo. And you know, he's looking at me and he's saying, you know, honey, when your abuela and I met, you know, we had bad relationships in the past, and we needed to heal each other. And it's not healing each other in a way where neither party has done the work to get to a point of healing. It's healing it's going into a relationship knowing that you have been through kind of the same thing, and I can tell just by looking at you, and you can tell just by looking at me, and we've made this vow, not to be with anybody else, but if we're not going to hurt that other person, which means that we need another person who's coming in that, you know, because I'm thinking of the two of coins where his foot's kind of up. We need somebody who's going to, when they come in, they balance that other foot. You know, I come in, my other foot is up, but my foot can hit your foot, and we can have a form of balance with 3 legs. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what this love is, because these people have been too hurt. These people have walked away from union because they didn't want to be hurt. And now the divine has thrown them together, bare and naked, for all of them to see. And where this symbolizes, you know, God walks in and says, okay, here you are, you're naked, and this is, okay, now we're meeting, and we're filling, you know, this is coming down to fill the cup so that we can see, you know, who each other is. This actually came out like this, which tells me, because of the way I read, the way I see cards moving in the pictures, think Harry Potter. So if you're clairvoyant and you scry and you see images and things, and you're mentally healthy, and you look at pictures, like even family photos, and you see them bobbing back and forth, almost like a Harry Potter thing, that happens to me too. You're not alone. That's one of your ways of getting messages in. It's not just you, it's me too. It happens to me with famous paintings. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. But so when I look at this, what I see are these two cups coming together to then bring everything they know about each other into this one unit. This one unit that will be the relationship canister. It's because you have to put 100% of yourself into the relationship canister in order to have it. I mean, it's the biggest mistake that people make is thinking, oh, I only have to put half myself in. No, you have to put all of yourself into, because you have you, your partner, and then in between that, there's a relationship that has to be filled, and it has to be filled 100, 100. Because if you're not doing that and one of you gets cancer, that means that the other person not only can't cope, they can't heal, they're going to do stupid shit, or they're going to shut down. And they're not going to be able to help you through that. Where if that person is putting 100% of themselves in, then they can go, okay, yeah, you got cancer, I got to take the kids, how are we going to do this? I mean, I've been through that. That's what you do. That's what a relationship does. And think about that. Because if you're listening to this and and your relationship isn't like that, and you're just sitting there going, yeah, if I got cancer, my spouse would be lost. Yes, they're going to be lost. That is legit. And I have always recommended the moment you get that diagnosis, start therapy then, because you need it. It's a mind trip. It is a trippy field because I've had it. So I know what I'm talking about when I say this. But I have seen, my mom was an oncology nurse. She's seen families just separate. My own family. These things happened too when my cousin was diagnosed with MS. I mean, her marriage dissolved because things and stuff around them. So if you're not putting 100 into your relationship, by the time you start to get to the heavy stuff, you can't remember the good stuff and you can't cope with the heavy stuff. And this shows me that these are two people willing to put in 100, no matter how frightened they are. Because remember, this person still has their sword up and this person is still carrying their fish in their cup. Like, this person in case they have to, defend themselves, and this person in case they have to take their fish and run. Okay? They still have them up, but they still want to try. Because even they're lonely. And even they want something more than a courtesan or a boutique. They would like to leave that part behind them. They would like to heal their inner child. They would like to, take this new marriage unit or this new relationship. It doesn't even have to be marriage. It's just relationship unit off to something new where it can succeed, where this new unit is going to grow and not be hurt by the things of the past, because this is a totally new relationship that you have never been. It's going to be a totally new experience that neither of you have ever had before in your whole entire life. And any love you thought that was that great, this is going to top it. And you're going to get in there and go, oh my God, I cannot get over how I thought I would never have another love again. And it's like, wow. And it doesn't mean that previous love that may or may have not taught you something doesn't come through with that. It's just you realize where that love there was never going to grow into what this love is. And it's important that this love grows like this, because you're always going to be naked at some point in front of each other, and then at some point you're going to be clothed. You're always going to be taking in and taking out. You're always going to be like, it's a unit. It's a unit of give and take, and rules and boundaries and understanding and stopping and stepping back and knowing how to be constructive. Like one of the things I tell like a lot of new couples is, if you struggle with arguing, if you came from a background where you don't know how to argue, or not everybody, I'm neurodivergent, not everybody knows how to argue, you know what I'm saying? One of the greatest things I ever learned in my last marriage was I learned in my first marriage that I had to sometimes walk away, otherwise I was going to throw something. And I only threw something if he followed me. So I would look at him and go, don't follow me. But he was a dick, and he would follow me because he was an asshole. Okay? That was a bad situation. It was never going to get better. Thank God we got divorced. My second marriage, however, which was ruined through gaslighting by an outside party. We learned, because I had to say to him one time, don't follow me, because if you follow me, I'm just going to get angrier. And when I would have to walk away, I would walk away and I would calm down. And after a while, what I would do in the middle of an argument was I looked at him and say, okay, I'm getting too heated. I can't hear what you're saying. I can't think constructively. And I got to walk away from this argument for a minute. And he went, okay. And I went upstairs and I sat there and I thought about it. And after about 20, 30 minutes, I was calmed down. I sent him a message. And I don't even remember what it was at this point. And we came together on it and this, that, and the other thing. And we came up with this agreement that when you're arguing, if you can't be constructive, you can't think, you're starting to scream, you're starting to yell, you stop and you step back and you say, okay, this is no longer an argument, it's a screaming match. Because if you're going to argue, you at least need to be able to hear the other person, right? And if I can't hear you, then we're not constructively talking. We're not getting our points across. We're not hearing each other. So the rule was, when you get to that point, you stop the other person, even in mid-sentence, and you say, I have to walk away. I can't do this anymore. I have to walk away because it's not constructive any longer. I can't hear you. I can't think. And I'm going to start screaming and yelling, and that's not going to help any relationship. So you step back and you walk away. You get your coffee, you get your tea, you get your weed, you get your whatever the hell you need to. You go to the room that you go into, and you stay there. And the other person respects your boundaries. These are rules and boundaries. And they do not come in the room. If you have to go through the living room to get to the kitchen to get another cup of coffee and go back to your bedroom, they do not talk to you. You do not talk to them. And when you are calm and you can think, that's when you text the other person. You can make a point about the conversation. You can say things like I have, where you know what, I looked this up and you're right. You know, and this, that, and the other thing. And then once you do that and you send it, you do nothing. You have to wait for the other person, because if you were overwhelmed and you were harried, that means the other person was too. If you needed to give yourself a timeout, they needed to too. If you needed to take this long to calm down and be more constructive, then you have to give them time to calm down and be constructive. So after you text them, no one does anything until the other person texts to say that they're calm too. From my former husband, I would get texts back after that saying, yeah, you know what, you were right. There were times that I would send him a message and say, yeah, you're right. And then he would text back and go, yeah, and then we would get together and we have a whole great new conversation about something I was wrong about and now I'm educating myself about. See how that goes? And that's how you keep a partnership going. It's not that you're not arguing, you're arguing constructively. You're knowing how you argue and when you need that time out. And you know that when your spouse or your partner starts screaming, the screaming Mimi, stranger danger, that's no longer an argument. That's somebody's in trauma and they need help. So, you know, these are things that these people have learned. These are things that they're going to insist, you know, this constructiveness. And this may even go as far as saying, you know, I've had people screw me over on bills. I at least need to know you have something to contribute. You know, this is anything that you both need to have these rules and boundaries about. So I don't know why I told you that about arguing, but I guess somebody needed to know. But that's how these two people are going to be, because nobody wants screaming, nobody wants yelling. And these are people who have had difficulties with, you know, maybe not fully abusive situations, but on some level having to recover from something within relationship boundaries. And these are people who are learning to trust again, which is why they're choosing to come together the way that they are. You know, they're walking into this situation naked on their own, bearing everything that they have for the other person to see, showing their scars. And it's the showing of these scars that makes this unit that helps to protect them, that brings them into this greater union, which is being brought in by God, because God's like, you need to have someone in your life who loves you and who you can love, who you can trust, who I always give the example of, that person who's not going to go through your phone and all of your messages to see who you're talking to. It's that person who knows that, yeah, you're not going to do that because you just don't want to. I mean, having that kind of faith in someone, that's a lot. And for these two people to understand that that's what they need, and to realize that that other person is going to follow their rules, boundaries, and limitations, that's a lot for these people to take in, realize, and understand. Because they've been through such hurt. And it doesn't actually matter where in their lifetime or how old they are. I mean, we could be talking about two 18-year-olds here. We could be talking about two 16-year-olds here who are meeting each other. We could be talking about a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old who become friends at work, and then 2 years later realize, obviously 17 and 20. Well, 17 is, you get the point here. Just if you're, 20 is stupid too. And 17 is a little smarter. But obviously, if you're 17 and 20, you guys get my point here, right? And then, of course, if it's 2 years later, they're like 19 and 21, so. Yeah, I know, Spirit. There is that odd, yeah. 17 is that little bit more grown up, but 20 is that little bit more immature. It's that funny little odd. But then 21 and 18 is so vastly different that no 21-year-old is going to want to date an 18-year-old unless you're absolutely out of your mind. Yeah, because everybody needs that experience. You have to yeah, exactly. Thank you, Spirit. Anyway, I don't know where the hell that came from. That was just an odd conversation with Spirit about age. Anyway, be smart, please. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is it doesn't matter the age of these people, or what age they went through what they went through, because they had given up at some point in time. And I'm just repeating what I'm saying. And yeah, God doesn't want that. God is handing this to you. He is handing you this. And the question is are you going to take it? He is handing you this. Are you going to take it? Are you going to take it? And and how quickly do I have to throw you two together before you do? Because God's like, listen, I'm going to give them the option to take it, and then eventually I'm just throwing them together whether they like it or not. You have no idea how savage this feels from the divine, because I'm not even often you'll get this little secretary from the divine that'll fill you in on information, and that's not what I'm getting. I'm not even getting a secretary. I'm literally just getting God going, yeah, this is what we're doing because I'm tired of the bullshit. He's literally tired of people like this getting hurt, because these people are not going into relationships and healing themselves. Instead, other hurt people are going out and just hurting more people. And God is tired of that, because he needs people who have been hurt to heal and be together. Because you're going to be a certain amount in your healing when you get together, and then together you're going to continue to heal each other separately and together. You're going to heal each other individually. You're going to heal yourselves individually. And then as a unit, you're going to heal each other, and then your unit itself is going to be healing to the two of you. I'm also being told it's going to be healing to other people around you. They're going to see you not give in to this pressure of hating love and not trusting love, and they're going to learn how to trust again, because these are the people that need to come out, and these are the people that need to be in relationships so that dumbass hurt people can stop hurting people, because those hurt people are the people that are abusers. And the more people that are abused that come out and go into good relationships and tell people what good relationships are, the more people will stay away from those really, really more abusive relationships. And that's what I'm being told. It's every time the warning comes out to stay away, stranger danger, something else comes out to say, but are they really a stranger? This is Joe Matadots. He's not a stranger, is he? Well, I guess not if I know his name. When in reality, what we really need to say and say to our children is, you don't know them. Don't talk to people that you don't know. Because then that assigns everybody as somebody that you don't know. And that's the thing. And that's the thing right there. I think I just kind of lost that a little bit. And God needs you to trust that individual again. And that individual needs to trust too. And it's when these people come together that the abusive people stop. It's not that they stop being abusive. It's that they just stop holding power over everybody. And that's what it is. When people explain what abuse is and what abuse looks like, that's when abusers no longer hold power over anyone, ever again. So, if you have not met this person yet, you are going to. You are right on the bridge of being ready to accept that person in your heart. You're sitting there right now going, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. And God's going, that's fine. You take your time. You don't have to rush your feelings and emotions to be ready, because the minute your feelings and emotions are ready, you'll sit there and go, okay, I think I'm ready now. And you'll start being ready, and you will start opening up, because remember, every single flower takes time to bloom and fully open, and you are like a flower. You're going to take time to bloom and fully open, okay? And that is what the divine needs you both to know. And I guess that's all I have, I think. Is there anything else? Meow. Hi, Yossi. Hey, baby Oscar. Okay, I think that's okay. I think that's all okay, yeah. I don't think there's really anything more that I can say without being repetitive at this point. So, take it as it comes. Take this as it resonates, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you're still here. Thank you for listening to me. And good night. God bless you. We love you. And be good, behave, be happy, and remember to be yourself.